afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Ambassador Queens United Discussions and Debates. Today we have 9 beautiful ladies with different backgrounds telling us their stories on self-love, self-care, depression and suicide, toxic relationships, and more.
Hello everyone, my name is Lisbeth Rios. I am 24 years old. I am currently Miss King County and I'm also an ambassador for Ambassador Queens United. Aside from pageantry, I am also a counselor at an organization that provides services to survivors of domestic violence and sexual assault.
Hello everyone. My name is Giselle Baena. I'm 17 years old and I'm from Chicago, Illinois. Right now my titles are Miss Teen AQU and I will be competing for Miss Teen Illinois as Miss Teen Chicago Midway.
Hi, my name is Rachel Lopez. I'm 18 years old. I'm a senior in high school. Currently I don't have a title, but I hope to get one in the future. And I'm an ambassador in Ambassador Queens United. And besides for modeling, I work out and do makeup.
Hello everyone, my name is Alessandra Gonzalez. I'm 15 years old and I'm an ambassador in Ambassador Queens United. Other than being a model, I'm also a sophomore student, so I have plenty of time to think about what I'm going to be in the future.
Hi everyone, my name is Catalina Navigato. I'm 16 years old and I'm an ambassador for Ambassadors Queens United. Aside from being a model as well, I am a singer and a dancer and an actress.
Hello everyone, my name is Ana Gomez. I'm currently Miss Royalty International Indiana 2021. I am, besides being a queen, currently, I also advocate for suicide prevention and self-care.
Hello everyone, my name is Paulina Lua. I'm 28 years old. I'm from Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico, and I'm a national coordinator of Mexicana Universal USA and Nuestra Latinoamericana Universal. And I feel so happy to be with you today, and I hope that we share a lot of things. Thank you guys.
Hello everyone, my name is Jenny Valle. I am 29 years old. Aside from being a professional model, I am also an interior architect. I'm so grateful to be here today to get this conversation started with you all. Thank you.
Great morning, everyone. My name is Lauren Ransom. I am the host of the Lunch with Lauren show and also the former Miss Midwest US World. In addition to podcasting and radio and media, I also work in the field of higher education. I have been in higher education for about 14 years. I have a love for pageantry, but I also have a love for developing young women and girls to their highest potential.
My name is Tiffany. My area of focus is in mental health and behavioral health, specifically in clinical counseling. I grew up in Chicago. My ethnic background is Chinese, and my values and my beliefs has always been nothing is more attractive than your self-confidence.
Well, today we'll be talking, as Alvaro had mentioned, about self-care, suicide prevention, and how the importance pretty much of our self-love journey. For my purpose, is usually what I aspire to and hope you ladies take away from this is to love yourself to the fullest. I know with our self-love journey, sometimes comes obstacles. Because I started loving myself, setting in those boundaries, I've realized that I am so much worthy than what I thought I was. And that's something that I hope you ladies take away with you today.
Let's go ahead and get started with the most difficult parts. Let's go ahead and hit depression and suicide, toxic relationship, and everything that branches out through that.
I remember when I started dating as a teen. The first relationship I had wasn't the best one. It was what you would consider a toxic relationship. Not only was he toxic, but I was toxic as well. And that's something that I came to realize later on.
So I think it's really important, the thing that nobody has to tell you how to dress, how to wear, or maybe if you like to put high heels on, and nobody has to tell you, okay, you look horrible. Because I had a boyfriend, he was like, I don't like your high heels because you look so tall, I'm sorry. And I'm like, and what is the problem? I was thinking, I was like, what is the problem here? And he goes like, because you look so attractive. And I'm like, that's the point.
One of the things about a toxic relationship, it starts slowly and you don't realize it's happening. I had the experience of it would start with those little small things and you kind of blow it off. You know, you think, oh, he's just either having a bad day or he's being funny, or you kind of don't realize it, and then it bubbles up and then it boils and it becomes a big thing when it really becomes harmful. I've been in pageantry since I was 8 years old. Everybody knew that that's my life. But I didn't realize a relationship was toxic until literally he was in my house. He says, "I can't stand to look at your crowns." I said, "Whoa."
I remember when we broke up, I did start feeling that sign of depression. I didn't want to get up, I didn't want to do my schoolwork. I just felt worthless due to comments that were said to me as well, hurtful comments. I would think like, oh my goodness, look at my nose, I'm so ugly. I would just start criticizing myself.
So I think you have to find and you have to be really comfortable with the person that you are, and nobody has to tell you you cannot, because that is a big problem.
And so you just want to listen to the little cues early, because it builds up, and we don't notice it at first, ladies. We don't. We're in love. We're happy, and he's wonderful. But they're these little things. They build up, and they build up over time. So I think we've all been there. We've all had those moments, and just when you realize it's unhealthy, it's okay to go. It's okay to go.
I started thinking like, what do I want to do in the future? And I came to realize I want to help other people. So that's where I came into the profession of social work.
I agree with Lauren. It doesn't start, you don't notice it at the beginning. I was like, this was like my first ever boyfriend that you consider official, because when you're still in high school, you're still getting to know what love is. But once you get out of high school, it becomes like, okay, where do I want things to go? So you start looking for a different type of relationship. So this was my official boyfriend after high school. And I remember that he started making comments because I used to love dressing up. Like he would never see me with no makeup, no hair done. Like it was really hard for me to like go out. He would say, okay, we're gonna go out to eat. 40 minutes, I'll be ready. By the time you get here, I'll be ready. So hair, makeup, because that's what I like about me doing.
Okay, so relationship, sometimes it doesn't have to be physical. It doesn't have to be telling you that you are not wearing your makeup and you don't look good. Sometimes it comes from the personality. Sometimes it comes from a diagnosis. Now, I was with a man 6 years ago, and he started out really, really charming. Okay, he knew everything that he was gonna say. He melted me basically. But over time, he had some problems. He became an alcoholic. And what does that lead to? Leads to violence, leads to physical abuse, right? And that was what I went through.
You date to the level of your self-confidence. So let that sink in.
And he'll start making comments like, oh, I don't like those lashes. No, they seem too big. No, I don't like this. I'm like, okay, you say okay, and then next time you don't have them anymore. And then it started progressing to the point that I stopped wearing makeup, I stopped doing my hair, and I never noticed that I stopped slowly doing what I love.
After so much manipulation, he became a narcissist basically. So what happened? I still stayed with him because I felt he was the only one for me. I felt that I was stupid enough to be with him later on in life. And then over time, with a better person that you become, be with, that person that matches your personality, it'll change you. And that's when you really realize, oh my gosh, I can't believe that was the person I was. I can't believe I was that stupid.
I was like, no, we're not gonna do this. And that was the first time in 2 years that I said no, and he didn't like it. So because he didn't like it, he said, we're done. I went over to my family's house, and they were like, whoa, we haven't seen you in 2 years. I was like, wait, what? Why are you quiet? Why are you not wearing makeup? Why are you so reserved? Those were my family comments. I didn't notice how much I had changed for one person. How much I stopped loving me, because doing makeup, doing my hair was a way for me to say, this is me. I love the way I look. I love the way that I dress up, because that's me. I stopped doing that, and I didn't notice until afterwards, because it slowly progresses to a big thing.
What is depression really? Obviously, it's like situations, circumstances that you can be going on in your life that negatively impact you, right? And what are the symptoms? The symptoms you have to watch out for is, are you normally more in bed than you need to be? Have you stopped answering your friends' messages? Have you stopped going out and stopped doing the things that you love to do? Like when you put on your favorite TV show, do you just feel like nothing anymore and it's not there? Do you constantly look for a validation? There's all these different types of symptoms, but ultimately we have to look for the irregularities that happen in our lives and that, throw off the patterns. We usually have a routine. Maybe in the mornings, we wash our face, get ready, take a shower, have some fruit, self-love, self-care, right? Taking care of yourself.
Well, some symptoms of depression is loss of appetite, being unmotivated, anything that interests you, you kind of just slack off and let yourself get into this deep hole, and you tend to just stay home and just basically have this negative impact on yourself. I know it's really hard for young kids, especially right now with having social media. We have TikToks, Instagram. We have constantly girls comparing themselves. I have a younger sister, she's 10, and she has TikTok, but I realize how much it influences her and how much it really gets to her when she sees other, let's say other models, or we have other influencers that she looks up to. And it's like, it's something that we have to accept. I think breaking down to love yourself first, and then going on with accepting yourself and knowing that you're beautiful within.
One of the things that you can do is, what is it that you love to do? You can start with something of a basic activity. Like for me, I love makeup. So being able to wake up and just, or on a random day, just doing my makeup would like get me to feel better about myself, and like it gave me energy to do other things afterwards. So whatever activity that you like to do, you can start by adding more time into that. If you feel like you're going down, it can be sports. It can be going out with your friends that you used to not do it, going to the park with your family. Any activity that gets you going with energy is a good activity that keeps you on a positive.
Obviously, you need to do things to interfere with that depression, right? So great tips from that.
There's a difference between symptoms of depression and a diagnosis of depression. There is a book, it's DSM. There are many, many levels of depression. Now, you have to fit all the criteria in order to say somebody is depressed. So what I want you guys to take away from this is that you might have friends with all the symptoms of depression, but try not to go up to them and say, you have depression, because that needs to be a diagnosis and evaluated from a psychologist. And because this is still a taboo, when you tell them you have depression, that something's gonna get into their head. And you guys have no idea how strong your brain is. It can tell you what you are when you're not, and it leads you into believing that. And then all the symptoms come out, and then eventually it does, and it could lead to depression. And not the only way, but how you can treat it, these ladies are right. You have all these things you can do, your hobbies, you go out, you get some vitamin D. But because there are some things that are biological, so your chemicals, that is when you have to know when to get evaluated. And then that's where you know that you need treatment and medication.
I didn't fall into depression, but I felt like I look back at it and I realized, my self-esteem went down by a lot. So when I was 13 years old, I was very into gymnastics. Gymnastics was something that I was very passionate about, and saw myself even going to Olympics, and I just loved it. And one time I got accepted into this team, but everything's very expensive nowadays. Some people cannot pay it off, so my family couldn't pay it off. And my mom said, well, sorry, you're not going to be able to do it. Sorry, it's not too much for us. And after that, I felt like that rejection just brought me down. I stopped going to practice, so gymnastics was the end for me at that time. And so what I would do is lay in bed and not even go out. And it was the summer, during the summer. And so to cope with it, I would literally grab snacks and eat nonstop. And I didn't even notice it was a bad cycle. And I feel like us humans, we hate rejection. Rejection is something everyone copes with it differently. And I coped with it with food.
I know I'm only 15 and like a lot of people be like, girl, you have a lot to go. I went through a lot too. I was in toxic relationships too. I became a little toxic myself. I started losing myself. And about 7 months ago, I also went through depression because my brother passed away and I got out of a toxic relationship at the same time. So it was hard for me to like get over everything at the same time and like still put a smile in my face for my mom.
A lot of people who are depressed, they fall back and fall back and fall back and say, I'm depressed, this is me, and I can't fix it. But being here with AQU, and we were talking a lot about depression and symptoms, and I was like, hey, I have that. I know what to do now. I have the symptoms. I know what can help me. I have depression, and I can move forward. And so I feel like a lot of people, like they were saying, they try to make themselves as a victim. And I feel like now that you understand that what you have is this, you can move on and walk forward and become a better person.
I feel like us humans, us women, have to learn that too, that we shouldn't let one rejection get to us and that we should push ourselves to do better, and there's gonna be better out there. Just because one person rejected you, one job rejected you, doesn't mean you have to stop from there. There's always better, and you could strive to what you set your mind to.
After around 3-4 months, that started hitting me. I started thinking, oh my God, like, my brother just passed away. Like, oh my God, I went through this, through that. And it just started hitting me all at once because at the beginning, I was focused on other people's feelings and not my own feelings. And I just think that in this topic of depression, that a lot of people lose themselves and lower their self-esteem and go through so much things, but they don't see the strong person in them. But eventually it'll come out, so take your time.
When you are clear in that space, when you own your emotions, when you know how you feel, when you've done the work and you understand in that clarity, that's such freedom and power in your life. Oh my goodness. Because then you do look back at yourself like, oh my God, what was I thinking? Like, I did that. Like, oh my God, like, those were my friends. Like, I dated him. Like, you know. And you, like, what happened? Like, where was I? But it's also such you find that joy. So just know joy does come. And I think that's where the self-love and self-acceptance piece is, finding joy. Because even in a moment that I took medication for depression. They sent me to therapy in high school, all that stuff. I've attempted suicide. I've been there. I've been in that space. But there does come a point where you find joy. You will find joy. And it takes work. The work that sometimes you don't think you're going to get out of that hole in that tunnel. You're not going to see it sometimes, but just know that it happens.
So this person was really close to me, and it was the person that I trust the most. I was like, this is the person that I'm gonna happen is gonna be with me for the rest of my life. It not happened. It was the person that was talking about me with my parents, and he was talking to everybody but bad things about me, and I didn't know. And he told me once, I can't give you a job because you doesn't speak any English, and here I am. You know, I don't have the best English because my first language is Spanish, but I try to do my best. And he told me that, and I remember. And also he told me, you will forever, you're gonna be a server. Because I was working in a restaurant here in Chicago. And he told me that because you don't have like anything else to do. And I was that in my mind. And I'm like, okay. But I have that feeling in my heart that I'm gonna change everything, and I'm gonna look for the possibility to do something else, something that I love, something that, I don't know, something close to my degree or something. I was looking for an opportunity.
I can relate to every single one of you. A lot of things happened. I lost my dad when I was 5. So that made my dad to me was everything. He was like I don't know why. Girls, we can always go talk to dad, and dad can always like understand everything that you're saying. Mom, it's like there's iffies. So to me, that was how my relationship with my dad was. Like, I could always go to him. So even though I was only 5, like I felt like I lost my one connection to the one person I could always say something to. And with my mom, it was always difficult being able to express my emotions to what I was feeling. So I grew up with that. I grew up with my mom being single mom, always working, not having the time, and always emphasizing the fact that if you were emotional, that was a weakness. You can't express anything because that is wrong. Like, you can't be seen vulnerable. You have to be out there fully like strong woman. You got this all the time. Never let your guard down. So what that led to me is to always have a shelf, like always have this wall that I build that, okay, I can never show weakness. I can never this, I can never that. So dealing with not only losing my dad, and then at the age of 6, I was child molested. So that also withdrew me. It withdrew me to get anxiety, and anxiety got me to eating disorders, which led me to just completely build more shelves on top of shelves of creating this person that I didn't want to be, but I didn't know. So we're getting to teenage years where, like you have to be skinny, you have to be perfect, you have to learn to be this woman the society wants you to be, and now you're not. It's when I started realizing that I didn't want to be me. I started hating who I was.
And I got a really deep depression. I was so bad. And I have a friend here. She passed everything with me. And now I can say that it was hard. It's not easy. But just like everybody just told like a couple minutes ago, you have to find the things that makes you feel like happy, makes you feel alive. Things like me, for example, I start working with these amazing guys like in Mexicano Universal USA, and that was a big opportunity for me to grow up as professional.
Outside my doors, I was outgoing, the happy girl you could ever see. I will be the one that will always put a smile on your face, the one you can always come and talk to, the one that was always there for you. But don't ask her any questions about her, because then she will skip the beat and you will never know. We'll go back to you. So I did it for so long that I ended up in a depression. Because when I got home, who am I going to deal with? Nobody but me. What am I going to think? Nothing else. But again, all those things. So I attempted to take my life 5 times. Throughout, there were ups and downs that got me that. The last time, it hurt because it was the first time I landed in the hospital. I died for 4 seconds. Paramedics got there in time to bring me back. And it was the first time in my life I saw my mom. I asked my mom. She was praying and asking God, if it's her time, let her go. But if it's not, let her stay. I've never seen my mom cry before in my life. Until that moment. And it was like something gave me hope. And after that, I was like, I need to work this out.
I need to start being able to express what it is. And so, yes, being able to talk to my mom when she was making a comment that wasn't really nice and I didn't like it, I would tell her, hey, Ma, this, how you say it, sounds nice. You mean the most, and you're trying to be good at it. But what translates to me is this.
Please don't let that nobody tells you who you are, where you going, what you want. That's the most important thing. If somebody tell you you're gonna be a server for the rest of your life, just look at me, how I do it. You have to say that. Look at me, I'm so happy, and I was thinking, okay, I need to move on. When I was in this depression, it lasted like 6 months, and I was like, okay, I need to move on. And 2 weeks ago, I told her, I'm gonna move to Vegas, and I'm gonna go to Vegas because I don't wanna be in Chicago anymore. And I traveled to Vegas, and I'm like, I don't have an apartment, I don't care, I'm gonna get it. And I did it. I have an apartment in Vegas. And yes. And also, I don't need that people in my life. And now I just realized that people just stop me a little bit, like, to be like the person who I want to be, you know? And this is my story. I hope that, now, I don't know, it's breaking me a little bit, but
in the Latino world, not moms know what to say because parents in general don't have a book of how to raise a perfect child. They are also learning. They're learning to be parents to you, and not every kid is the same. Why? And that is why they don't know, because they think one comment might work for all of them, but it doesn't. So you trying to work a relationship with your parents is also trying to be a little understanding that they're also learning with you. So that communication is a back and forth of how we can stop having bad relationships that turn into toxic. Having communication is key at everything. How can I know how you feel if you don't tell me?
Mm-hmm. I'm looking in this room and I see a bunch of beautiful, young, strong women, and I really wish I had that when I was a teenager, because growing up there wasn't a lot of opportunities for me. I was actually addicted to drugs. I don't want to go into detail, but also had that happen to me. And I asked someone for help, and they signed me up to an institution. I've never said this ever before in my life, but it feels really good saying it. And yeah, I attempted suicide too, and I said, you know what, this is not the life I want. They put me in a hospital. I was there for a couple months. It was the best thing I could have done for myself. And to this day, I go back in my life and I'm like, I never want to be that person again. So anytime I'm in a relationship now, this might sound crazy, but I tell the guy, I like you, but this is who I am. I model, I'm an architect, I'm a professional. If you're gonna love that about me, you better stay with me. But I'm like, I am not changing for you or for no one, for your family. I'm not changing, not even for myself. I'm gonna pursue my goals. I want my own business someday. If you're gonna accept that and you're gonna welcome that into your life, then by all means, let's see where it goes. But if you cross my contract, then I'm out of this relationship. Because
taking a look at ourselves and starting from within, I feel like acknowledging the toxic traits that we have, because we all have them. Like, I know we think that we probably have none, but we have them, okay? And we have them because we're humans and we're learning through the process. It's not like you're not a person who's like baked out of the oven and comes out perfect. You literally have to work for every level of education in your life. So when you are talking about toxic relationships, let's look from within here first, and then let's start working our way out, right?
you never want to be the mean girl. Casting directors look at you. Believe it or not, they look at you. They will look at your page. They will talk to other people. Let's say, for example, Alvaro, they will ask him, how is this girl? How does she act? Because I cannot tell you the amount of times I met a very beautiful, beautiful women, beautiful girls. They can be beautiful on the outside, but when you start talking to them, oh my goodness, I'm like, get away from me. And when they get to the casting director, guess who's gonna get the job? The nice girl, not the beautiful girl, because she has attitude. She's saying, I don't like this dress, I want that one. The casting director is gonna be like, get out, I don't wanna work with you. Why? Because they don't like the attitude. She's gonna talk bad about other people. She might not have been on time. They want the girl with the whole package. You're going to be genuine, you're going to be nice to everyone on the team, and you're not going to complain. So just as, start learning that now, be kind to people, spread that kindness, because other girls do talk as well, and they might ask the other model, well, how is she? And she might be the one that gets you the job. So just always keep that in mind. Kindness goes a long, long way.
I do want to add on into what you say, just acknowledging yourself, how you are as well. I don't know if you ladies remember, but I had to mention, I was in a toxic relationship, but I was toxic myself. The reason I said that is because of the way I used to communicate. If there was a discussion, I would yell. And that traces back to how I used to see how discussions were being able to be handled, until later I learned different communication skills. And that's when I realized, yeah, my way of communicating, it's not the right way. I need to change that about myself. And there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that, hey, we're not perfect, but we can improve ourselves, we can work on ourselves and become the better version of ourselves as well.
My name is Amaya Allen. I'm currently Miss Illinois Collegiate America, but in 2019, which is 2 years ago, it's crazy, I was Miss Illinois Teen USA, and I placed top 15 at Miss Teen USA. For those who don't know, it's like Miss USA, but for teens. And I have been competing in pageantry for the past 11 years now. Since I was 10, I'm 21 now. And it's been just a wild ride. I've traveled internationally. I've gone to New York Fashion Week. I've met the best of the best in pageantry. But it's really been a journey that has helped me find myself, find my confidence, who Amaya really is. Before pageantry, I was super shy, would never do anything like this, literally hid behind my parents. In church, when people would talk to me, I'm an only child, so I really just stuck to myself. But through pageantry, I've completely just transformed into the woman that I've always envisioned myself to be, like you guys said. Pageantry is an individual sport. I consider it a sport. And so if you're not your best self, if you're looking at other people, you're not going to be successful. No matter how beautiful your gown is, no matter how many hours you've spent coaching, if you have those feelings of self-doubt and comparison, it's over. You've already lost. And so in my preparation for Miss Teen USA, a lot of times you're asked to give funny stories or weird facts, and I would notice that a lot of the girls competing, they were like, oh, I want to go into the medical field, or I'm a dancer. I cannot dance at all. And at the time I was like, okay, there's not really that many things cool about me. I was in band for 6 years. I'm just a weird person to me. But I really learned that those quirks or those things that you think are cringy are the things that make you so very unique, and those are the things that the judges looked for. I've judged national pageants, I've coached girls for national pageants, and when I hear something that's unique or something that's weird, I'm like, ooh, talk more about that. Ooh, that's cool. Because at the end of the day, everybody wants to win the title, and everybody who's competing would probably be a good candidate. But if you find a contestant who is unique and different, and they own that, and they can bring something new to the system and to the title, that's what really makes a contestant stand out.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us for this discussion and debate, everyone from the audience who participated. Obviously, the goal is to impact, send our message across. Our job is never done. We are always evolving, right? Let's not compare ourselves to others, but make ourselves individual by our hard work, intentions, community service, and awareness, right? Beauty is all about perspective. Let's all start from within. Thank you from Ambassador Queens United.
You be the change.
Be unique.
Embrace your authentic self.
Perspective over beauty.
If opportunity doesn't knock, break a door.
Do what makes you happy.
It all starts from within.
Education is power.
Take your life into your own hands.
Be proud of who you are.
Your only limit is your mind.